so that as other people join us later and we'll be following the replay, you'll have a chance to check that out. For those of you who I have not met before, I am Dr. Dietra Hawkins, and I am excited to be talking to you about what I think is important, which is a healing-centered focus on leadership and not just being trauma-informed. So I'd love for you to just add quickly in the chat, what has brought you here today? What is it that interested you? Did someone invite you? How did you end up being here today? Oops, okay. That's right. Oh, yeah, a little bit of peace, curiosity. We need more curiosity in the world. Yes, love it. Okay, yeah, a new approach with leadership. So often, I think that is actually something that I've been thinking a lot about. Love that. What else? Okay, yeah, scaffolding, be curious, new ideas, especially in these times. Absolutely. Strategies, love that. Need a healthy balance. Wonderful, wonderful. I I can appreciate all of that sentiment, and why it's so important, in what we're trying to do and why we need to be here. So um, that makes a whole lot of sense, and I'm just really grateful that you've decided to be here with me in this time. So I have multiple screens going on here. Let me actually pull up my slides so that you are able to follow this a little bit. And one of my favorite people is Brian Stevenson. And in addition to what Brian Stevenson talks about that I think is important for our work, not only are we more than the worst thing that we've ever done, but also that when we start to think about poverty, when we think about where people are in our culture, I think there's a lot of emphasis on wealth. And many of us also know that, you know, there's a lot of injustice in our culture. And so I love that he says that the opposite of poverty is not wealth, but it is justice, and that that is one of the things that we all can be striving toward. So today I want to talk to you about being healing centered in our leadership. And I'm excited that you are here. You are going to be the first to actually test out a little quiz. So I'll let you do this quiz on your own, but I'm going to invite you to consider the numbers later in the chat. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions here, and tell me what, what actually resonates the best with you for these questions. So give yourself, let's do like a scaling of like not true is 1, very true is going to be 4. There's 10 questions. So take note for this for yourself, okay? So 10 questions. We're keeping this private because I don't want, yeah, we're testing it out. Not true is 1, very true is going to be 4. So at the end, if everything is very true, which hopefully is not necessarily the case, you would have 40 points. If it's not true, then you would have 10, right? So we'll have a scale of like 10 to 40. So the first question, I often feel emotionally drained at the end of the day. Is that a 1, mostly true? I mean, not true, sorry, not true, or very true, a 4. Number 2, I have trouble being fully present in meetings and conversations. And this is how you're feeling lately. This isn't about like last year or like, but like, let's think about the last couple weeks. You know, have you been able to be fully present? Can you be present, not be microtasking, which is not really a thing? Are you able to focus, really be there for your teams? Or are you finding yourself kind of distracted? So not true is 1, very true is 4. Number 3, I feel disconnected from a deeper sense of purpose in my leadership. So if you feel really connected to your purpose as a leader right now, awesome. That's a one. But if you are feeling disconnected, kind of trying to figure out, why are you here again? Why did you sign up for this? That would be a four. Question number four. I react from a place of urgency and stress instead of responding with intention. So if you feel like you're still in a place where you're being very intentional, that would be a one. If you find yourself in a place now where you're really putting out lots of fires, there's always a sense of urgency and stress, that would be a four. Number five, and this is important, I rarely make time to reflect or step back. I'm always doing. Okay. One, not true. You are building in that self-reflection time. Four, yeah, you're kind of struggling with that. You're in a space of like hustling all the time. Number six, I do not feel emotionally available or grounded with my team. Remember, this is private. You're not answering this to anybody else. This is for you. This is for you to say in the last week, how have you been feeling? Where would you say you're at? Okay. Number seven, I feel like I'm surviving leadership, not shaping culture. One, not true. Four, very true. Number eight, I've lost touch with what brings me meaning and joy in my work. Okay. Number nine, I don't build in moments of care for myself during the workday. So a lot of us, I've heard, I'm just gonna, again, this is private, but a lot of people I know find that their workday isn't even ending. It might be 9, 10 o'clock at night. And you're like, oh, I meant to go take that walk. I meant to give myself a break. Number 10, I want to reset, but I don't know where to start. So if you're struggling with where to start, that would be a four. If you're good, you're okay, right? You're doing good. You're feeling pretty grounded. That's going to be a one. So with some thumbs up, just let me know how many people, let's do your calculation. And we won't do the full on numbers, but where would you say you are? So if you are between 30 and 40, that, you could say you're in survival mode. If your numbers are between 20 and 30, you're feeling like you might need to recalibrate a little bit. And if you're between 10 and 20, then, there's room to grow, but you're feeling pretty. Okay, I saw a couple hands, a couple things go up there. Okay. All right. Yeah, so somewhere in the middle, maybe, I think a lot of us tend to be. Um, yeah, that makes sense. Well, I want to acknowledge that, sometimes we have to take time. And so one of the things I want to do is give you credit for showing up today because that is part of this. It is part of being healing focused in what we're doing and why you're here. And if you have ever been with me, then one of the things I like to do is make sure that we take a moment to take a breath as we take in that number. So we're going to take a deep breath in. You're going to hold it and you're going to let it out. You're going to do that one more time. I want you to take a deep breath in, hold it for a little bit, and we're going to slowly let it out. As we go throughout today, I want you to just remember to always take a breath, think about ways in which you can be centered. And, I'd be curious if you looked at the questions 1 through 10, if any one of them stood out in particular. Was there one in particular that stood out for you? If you want to put that in chat, um, that would be great to see. What stood out? Is it being drained? Is it responding with urgency? Being in survival mode? What would you say? Yes. Self-care. So important to do that. Feeling drained, sustaining that presence, maybe, yep, survival, just like it's okay, right? So, key part here, oh my gosh, yeah, surviving that leadership, not shaping that culture. We have got to know to give ourselves some grace here, okay? We have to give ourselves a lot of grace about this and just recognizing how easy it is to be in this very responsive, reactive kind of space. I don't know about you, but like December just showed up. Like, hold on, what happened to November? Like, and now we're supposed to be ready for 2026. Are you kidding me? Okay. Um, so I want to take a moment to take a step back just a little bit and at least say hello, and introduce myself a bit. So I am Dr. Dietra Hawkins. I often talk about being more of a facilitator than a trainer. And one of the things that I have really found to be really important in my journey is that I've been part of this recovery movement for over 20 years. And when I think about that movement, I got into that movement because of my own legacy, family legacy of the civil rights movement, and just see recovery as an extension of that, and the recognition that so often when we hear the word recovery, and all of you might not know that, I'm talking about people who have had something happen in their lives, either on a mental health side, addiction side, life side, and they are finding ways to live their lives with meaning and purpose. And that too often our recovery movement has been very singular focused, not always community focused. It's been a bit more on that trauma informed side and not always on that healing side. And that is what I want to help bring us to, because we have to have more than a focus on those acute things that happen, acute, you know, treatment sort of process. We need to think about ways in which we are creating life and meaning, and also addressing more of the chronic issues that really have continued to plague us. If we think about some of the stuff we're dealing with right now, these are chronic situations. It's not acute. And we need to do a better job of matching what is needed to the time. So making sure that our strategies actually match what the situations are at the time. So in our work at Both and Partners, we try to talk about making sure that we're connected to our purpose and meaning, right? So we're not just leading from that place of like trying to survive. We want to make sure that you as a leader are aligned with your day-to-day practices and supporting your teams in that same way. And we want to ask questions that are moving in the direction of possibility instead of certitude. How many of us want things to be certain? Okay. It's okay to want that. Can we just acknowledge that we want that certitude? What we want to move toward is recognizing that that can get us trapped. Okay. When we are searching for that and your teams are searching for that, it can really lead to being trapped. So, um, I think I'm still sharing my screen. Yes. All right. So I want to say that I see your light and I want to acknowledge that light. And we have to do better to really nurture that with each other. Okay. And that even in the people we struggle with, we need to find a way to be namaste. Like, okay, we need to see the light in all of us and find a way to bring all of that together. Whether people we feel like we're agreeing on things or not. Too often I think we get kind of stuck on that. And so this year, and part of what I wanted to make sure I mention is that I am going to be offering a New Year reset. And that reset is to really focus on how we move from being trauma informed to being healing centered, to understanding this focus on a more chronic approach, and that there are things that we can do when it comes to addressing chronic situations. And that when we think about leadership, there's so many different ways to think about leadership. I think it's helpful to start moving in a different direction. So too often, I think our leadership has been focused on like the individualized things. We're asking the right, I mean, let me make sure I say this. It's important that we've been trauma informed. Okay. I'm not like this is not to get rid of something and to say it's wrong. It is to say we need to move from this to the next thing. Okay, which is also what I've seen and why I mentioned being part of this recovery movement. There have been parts in our recovery movement that we have gotten to that we should celebrate, and we still have room and places to grow. So, too often in many of our trainings, I was trained as a psychologist, we're sort of trained to be in this sort of neutral space. Anybody trained in a neutral space? Did I give a thumbs up there? Anybody trained to try and be a blank slate? Okay. All right, a few of us recognize that, right? Um, I think that that gets in the way, right? Because many people need to like have their truth be acknowledged. And when we think about healing, when I think about my own journey in healing, I need someone to stop trying to tell me that like it's not real. So the questions that we ask from a healing center perspective is what's right with you? We're much more holistic. We are actually in dialogue. And if you've been with me before and maybe you download one of our ebooks, you'll see that we talk about the distinction between dialogue and debate. We want to be more environmentally aware and embrace complexity. How many people have heard, oh, if we could just get rid of the humans, the human element in all of this? I have actually heard this. Okay. So we that's not it. That is not it. Like that's actually our beauty is like our complexity. Like that's what we need to like find a way to like be in and really embrace. And it's so much more. So what I wanted to talk about is this both and, right? I am constantly recognizing that we need to help each other be able to acknowledge, okay, maybe there's more than one way to think about this. How do we get out of that binary that we need to be in the dance? Okay, a good dance has motion that goes back and forth. It's not just one direction. Actually, it's not sustainable to stay in one direction all the time. And so let's find a way to dance and be in that back and forth. I often start my work by acknowledging how I build things. And so I just want to start off by acknowledging that how I build things is first, stories are powerful and they're so much more powerful than facts. So that certitude thing, which is where we want to figure out, well, what are the facts and the true facts and all of that sort of stuff. It's just that none of us make decisions there when it really comes down to it. It's the stories we hear over and over again. And right now, we're in a culture of a lot of misinformation in which you're hearing the same things over and over again, even if they're not true. And so we need to be aware of how that does influence our behavior and influence other people's behavior, not just ourselves, but the people we work with and the communities we're trying to serve. And one of my favorite things to do is to just be conscious of what's the story you're telling yourself? What's the story that other person is telling? How can we be better at be better storytellers? With that, we know that there's a context we exist in, and that I want you to know that being a leader isn't something that you just arrive at, you know, because many of us are continuously learning. And actually, I was preparing a course talking about leadership, which is when I started to realize, like, there isn't a lot where people talk about being healing centered in our leadership. What we see a lot is around servant leadership, adaptive leadership, complex leadership, transactional leadership, transfer. I mean, it is on and on and on and on. Okay. And again, not to knock those things, but also to invite that there are other ways to also think about this that match the needs of our time. So we need to be aware of our filters, the information we're taking in. We need to be conscious of how easy it is and how much we want to have that to-do list, but how it traps us, especially the communities And many of us who, I don't know anybody here is a teacher, but our students want those like checklists. Just tell me what I need to know. And what we really need is for people to be able to think and have critical thinking skills and engage, which is what will help us as many people are concerned about AI taking over. And when I say AI in that situation, I am talking about artificial intelligence, not my usual appreciative inquiry approach. I want you to know that we have a role to play and that I've been saying something different, but I wanted to say it this way today, that blame and shame keep people stuck. Let's just be honest about that. Okay, so that is not what I'm here to do. I do not want us to be stuck. We have got to get out of that blame and shame cycle. And what I want you to do again is celebrate for yourself that showing up is really the first thing. Showing up and starting with yourself. So we'll be offering an opportunity for you to pick your path. All right. At a 50% reduction just for 10 groups, we are offering either a full day with me. If you want, you can come and sit on my back deck. Like, that is how fun this is going to be. A dinner event, many of you know that we help people do dinners, which is a 2-hour opportunity for people to come together and talk about whatever topic. Now, I started off talking a lot about race and racism and equity, but we've also done dinners where we just talk about life, talk about possibility, talk about peace, how to grow and create more peace in our culture and society. It's a really great opportunity. And then a half day team building that can either be for your team or for a board. So I will be sending you a link to talk more about that soon. But I want to just touch on, well, why is this even important? Well, one is that in our society right now, there is a real overemphasis on quick fix, certitude, and what I would call attention between this sort of acute way of doing things instead of understanding that there is actually innovation in our chronic illness approaches. And so, let me just take a moment. What is resonating with you all so far from what I've said? You can either put it in chat. Oh, looks like I have somebody in the waiting room. You can put it in chat. You can come off mute, raise your hand if you want to say anything. What's resonating right now? Everyone is just thinking deeply. No, okay. Ty. Hmm.
Okay, hi. Okay, can you hear me okay?
Hmm.
Okay. Um, Thank you. The thing that's really resonating with me, I heard a couple of things. One was the self-care, um, moving at a pace sometimes that I don't always stop and check in or realize maybe I haven't even eaten and it's 4 o'clock, you know.
Oh,
Um, yeah, that's not supportive. And then the other parts were about also being supported in the work. Um, Gosh, it just feels like there's pretty much everything you said is resonating because there's so much. I would just have to literally repeat it all. But it feels like for where I am in the process, like in the middle, it feels like this is exactly what I was thinking of. It might be
mhm.
the scaffolding that I needed to kind of help me stop wobbling so much and stand up a little bit straighter on this path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel that with you, the wobble, in this sort of like, uh, especially right now, I think there's just so much where we're all trying to figure out like, okay, what now? And when is this going to end? When are things going to get stable? Yes, there's a space for healing regardless of the needed or desired leadership style. I think so, right? Like it doesn't really what I'm hoping I'm bringing to this is that you don't have to pick one way to be healing focused, right? And that as we think about where we're trying to go, too often I just think too many of our solutions are very much acute focused and not chronic focused, and that we're also not in that space of innovation. So yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, and just want to mention one more thing. I think too often also there's a way in which we really focus on being solution focused. And that sometimes when we think about healing, and this is what I wanted to share as my own experience with this. Sometimes when we think about healing, there's a way in which um, we don't want to embrace the discomfort of healing. We want people to feel better. So, a couple years ago, I was diagnosed with fat pad atrophy, if you can believe that, in my feet. And this was like such a bizarre sort of thing. Like, what? Like, what do you mean? So, to make that a little bit graphic, basically, if I'm walking on the bone and the nerves, which was very painful. And as I've sort of gone through the last couple of years, and maybe I don't know if any of you can resonate with this, um, I've like struggled with all kinds of things. It's like, okay, do I need to see an endocrinologist? Do need to see the podiatrist? Is this menopause? Is this perimenopause? Is it my heart? Do I go, now I've got some other random this, some random that, all of these different sort of things. And what I've kind of come back to is the need to be much more holistic. Like everybody is saying the same things ultimately. Get good sleep, eat better, okay? Exercise, take care of your mental health, get community. Like, this is what everybody, it's not any one thing, right? Like across all of this, it's all saying the same things. And that when we think about our health and wellness, I don't think we've done enough to talk about being healing, and what does it take to heal? Um, yes, like community, um, making time for yourself, all the things that we just talked about from leadership, and what I asked you about. Are you in that space in which you are just surviving? That's not good for your health. That's not going to help with any of these things, and it can show up everywhere. So when we think about leadership, I wanted to highlight just one way to think about this and ask you sort of like, okay, where do you kind of feel like you are? This comes from a book called The Leadership Challenge, and they looked at 5 exemplary practices. Okay. So the first is modeling the way. How are you setting the example for health and wellness? Are you taking your vacation? Are you asking people if they're taking their vacation? Are you modeling being healing focused? How well do we all do sitting with discomfort? And that sometimes healing is uncomfortable, you know, that actually sometimes that like itchiness is actually a good sign instead of a sign that you want to numb that. Okay. Um, do you have an inspired vision that you're sharing with others? I feel like a lot of people are silent right now. We're not actually stretching in the direction of sharing a vision for wholeness, wellness, people coming together, community. We're like looking for someone else to be the savior, and we're the people. We're the ones who need to lead. Okay? Share that vision. Be a better storyteller, which then says, hey, we got to challenge the process. And that is often just asking some different questions. My favorite over and over and over with people is to practice asking why 5 times. To be able to bravely say, I don't see it that way, but this is how I see it. This is what I'm thinking about. Holding on to that anger isn't healthy for me. Maybe we need to do some things in that direction. That challenging the process doesn't have to be about being necessarily confrontational, right? It can be about being invitational and inviting people to think about something different. And then we need to enable others. How many of us know that this is absolutely incredible, in essential right now? We have got to come together. We've got to collaborate. We've got to actually be in places where we are in partnership with each other, figuring out how to do those things. It's one of the reasons why I said, you know what, I'm going to do more than just offer a one-day thing with, an individual. If you want to do some work with your team so we can bring people in, how many of you need your boards to be much more effective? Right? How many of us need our teams to like be thinking in a direction about what is healing? So interesting research that's coming out that oftentimes when we ask our teams, like, what would really be helpful? Do we need to have that holiday party? And people are saying, it's actually kind of hard to come and show up for that holiday party, or this isn't my holiday. Family's different. Like, so we need to be much more creative with that. And so the last thing here is thinking about how we encourage the heart, which is recognizing people's contributions, finding ways to celebrate values and victories. What are the two values that you lead by? Mine are faith and integrity. Does your team know what your two values are? Are you in a place where you're able to truly share your heart, and talk about love, talk about care, talk about family? This is what I'm thinking will help us in being more healing centered. So, what can we learn from innovation? We can learn, this is what some of the research is saying when we're trying to address more chronic conditions, which I think from a leadership perspective is pretty straightforward as well. We need to stay active. So, this isn't a time to like, you know, kind of close in and try to say, oh, we're going to wait for things to blow over. We need to stay active in some kind of way, some intentional way. We need to find ways to monitor, track, and notice. So that might be patterns of communication. Who talks? Who doesn't? Who are you hearing from? Who are you not? What's effective? Let's actually monitor some things. Let's notice. Key here. I was in a leadership meeting not too long ago, and people were asking for coaching, and they said, we don't need just like coaching on the day-to-day practices. We need mental health coaching. We need mindset help. Some of us are struggling with like our own, like, are we supposed to be here? You know? So ways to remind yourself about what your purpose is and getting grounded in that. Mental health support is important. And oftentimes I hear people who are like, okay, a coach, also get your therapist. Don't do not like we need it all. Don't just do one. Key parts, eat well. This is why I like dinners. Okay. We need to eat and mindful eating, eat together, take time. How many of us eat at our desk? Okay. All right. I'm just, all right. We stop, like, at least get up and go sit at your table, right? Go have lunch with somebody, make a lunch meeting, eat well. All right. Have a real routine. Pay attention to the routines you do have already that may be draining you, right? Are you waking up and scrolling? Are you going to bed scrolling? Are you doing things that actually help your brain and tell your brain to shut down? Because remember, what happens with our brains is that it can't determine whether or not these are real crises or not, right? If you're still working on something, it's like, okay, let's go, let's go, let's go. So we have to be much more mindful about what we are actually asking our brains and our bodies to do. We can pay attention to data. We need to find ways to check in. That's peer support. I want us to all practice gratitude. I mean, gratitude is such a powerful practice, right? Every day. Three things we're grateful for. We got a thumbs up on that one. All right, we know. And then the thing that gets left out, we actually need to help change the behavior of our community. questions we can ask. What do people show up for? How do you understand community? Get beyond this idea of like just staying within our circle, but we can help change our community and the behaviors of our community. We've done it already. I would love for us to do some work in which we are giving ourselves room to grieve what we experienced in COVID. Imagine what that would do. So many people were just ready. Okay, we're just ready. We're just like, okay, we're done. COVID is over. COVID is not over. However, more than that, we have not grieved from the traumatic experiences that many of us had, all of us had from COVID, so that we could get to that place of a more adaptive, resilience. So we have to do more to focus in on that. Love that. Yep. Self-care, self-care, so important. Um, so I wanted to take a moment. Usually we do a bit of a quick breakout group so that think I still have enough time to give you all a chance to connect with one other person. But again, from a healing centered perspective, and I definitely encourage everyone to consider getting certified with Shongen Wright's The Flourishing Agenda CARMA training. Is a focus on culture, agency, relationship, meaning, and aspirations. Why I bring this up. My favorite two pieces here, agency and aspiration. I think a lot of us focus on the other pieces, but it takes a lot of humility, if you will, to think about like, what do I have control over? A sense of agency and doing this in community so that we can actually help ourselves heal and heal in community, not just individually, because that's what it takes. It takes others. And when it takes others to help us be in that space of discomfort. So, favorite books, because I have to always recommend a book The Four Pivots by Shongen Wright, an oldie that's coming back around that I think all of us need to reread, The Pedagogy of the Oppressed. And I want you to be stay tuned for my book coming out, currently titled The Table of Trust. So I am going to one, encourage you to book a call with me. But before we do that, I want to give you just a few minutes in a breakout room with someone else to just connect. Let's see. And we have about, yep. So I'm going to create those rooms, going to open that up, and just share a highlight. What's resonating? Okay. You'll have about 5 minutes there to say hello, then we'll come back. I think I've opened the rooms. Did I open the rooms? Yep, I did. Okay, anybody by themselves? Let's see. Hmm. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. How was that? All right, yeah. I think it's always helpful to connect with somebody. Know you're not alone. Just have a moment. So, thank you for taking the moment to do that and, being with someone else in a breakout room in our last sort of 5 minutes here. Just want to, I'm going to put in the chat a link for you to sign up for one of these resets or book a call with me. Again, this is a great opportunity for us to just kind of keep growing, keep developing. Um, would love to hear any takeaways at this moment. Mine here, I just wanted to say one thing, right? Like pick something and start. Pick something and start, either move from that chronic perspective, get time, take time to get clear on what you really want, do something to help your team. Really, really do something to do that. And always, always, from my perspective, I just want to say thank you. But I'm going to stop sharing my slides so that I can find out how you're doing. What are your questions? Are there anything resonating questions, thoughts in our last few minutes here? Gratitude, maybe even for the person you talked to.
I feel less alone.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And we need to know that you are not alone. You are not alone, and we have to find ways to like, this is the beautiful part. Like, even though some of us are probably tired of Zoom, I know. But at the same time, like you get to connect, and that's like a helpful thing. Yeah. Yeah. Don't be alone, right? Yes. So the recording will be sent to you. And believe me, there will be more coming. This is something that as I'm focusing more, there was so much more I could have covered. I was like, well, let me limit this to 20 slides. So
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Dietra. I really appreciate the space and all the education as always. And thank you so much too to my partner, Melinda. So great to learn from you as well. I had a question about when we were talking the behaviors of the community.
yes.
And it was mentioned like about like grieving, like what we experienced in COVID. So doing more work to focus on that. Like, what would be other examples, or even just with that grieving with what we experienced in COVID? Like, what would that look like? Like, just creating a space for that to discussion.
I think creating a space for it. I think asking people and if you are, if you're leading, you have a meeting, you have an opportunity to sort of have a space for people. Um, it could be a breakout, like a icebreaker question. What is it that you feel like you lost? How have you found ways to make peace with it? We just actually need to talk about it, right? Like we need to acknowledge that it's happened and that there are things that we can do. The other day I was thinking about my neighbor who we lost. We loved. She was like such an important person in our community. And I'm like, we need to do something to memorialize like the presence that they had in our community. So yeah, I think that there's more that we can do related to that. Um, from a public health perspective, I want to invite us to not just talk about, what went wrong, but what did we experience? So as you know, from an appreciative lens, if you've worked with me before, I like to ask three questions. What worked? What could have been better? What do we want to take, from this? And I think we could ask some different questions from our experience from COVID and not just focus in on, these are the things that were problematic, right? And this is what we lost. Actually, we all lost it. So, what do we want to do from that? Right? There's just other ways that we could start to embrace and understand how we can heal from our community's perspective. And then I think the other question I would just invite you to think about is what is community? A lot of people right now, in the last, I would say 10, 15 years, struggle with answering the question of what community is right now. And so we should just be inviting that question in.
Thank
Yeah,
you so
thank you for
much.
that. Oh, yeah, yeah. hmm Anything else from that? Questions, healing? Kristen.
Hey, Dr. Dietra, thank you so much for this space. I work in an organization where we've often for years had like open conversations about recovery, wellness, self-care. We try to sort of lead with strengths and, wins and conversations. And I feel like this year it feels sort of like hollow and like it's falling short because
Yeah.
of how hard this year has been. And like I find myself looking out at our team being like, I don't even know what to offer you, and like we're so willing to do whatever it takes, but I don't even know how to get there.
Mm.
Staff that are like in very different places physically and emotionally and career wise. So just like, I don't know, any wisdom about how to get there?
Well, I first think that we need to, I mean, I don't know if you have had space to even just acknowledge that with people.
Mm, probably not so openly. No.
I mean, it's like, let me first just be seen, like, it's okay to have that. Like, that could be part of it. So, a lot of organizations and people, I do a lot of work around appreciative inquiry, and people will say, this is toxic positivity. We
Mm,
don't need to do that.
yeah.
We need to first talk about what is true. And so, if it's tough, if it's hard, that's why I think the healing focus could be helpful. Because too often, in my experience, we talk about like numbing, or people, if we think about like where people go, you want to numb, you want to feel better, you want to immediately escape. And we actually need to be able to sit with the discomfort,
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
and not just sort of get out of that and then move into some other things. But I will also offer you, which I'll be sharing, I think, in another piece. I'm like, I put it in there, but I don't know if it's coming out yet. But I came across this question, this a process called the Odyssey Plan. Have you
Hmm.
heard of this?
Mm,
So just to offer you all a quick piece, the Odyssey plan is a set of three questions, and this comes out of, I want to say, the University of Stanford, some researchers that are there. And one of the first questions that they ask you, and this would be something maybe to lead your team with or think about this. So maybe team building would be great for them. Um, Given the path that you're on right now, 5 years from now, if you nothing changed, what would your life be like?
mm,
Okay. Second question, if the current path disappears, and my adjustment to this is to say, what are 5 things you could do? What would be 5 things that you could do? If the current path you're on disappears, the options you have, many people that I work with right now, that is their experience right now. What they had, their career for the last 20, 25 years is suddenly gone. What's the pivot? What do they want to do? What can they do? What is their lived experience that they can build on? And then the third question is the dream question. If nothing was holding you back, what would you do? I think from a perspective with your team, it would be great to ask those questions kind of related to their work and their positions and
mhm,
explore some of that. Another thing that I see people not doing, actually prioritizing taking time to have retreats
yeah.
and not a retreat where you're doing planning.
Yeah.
Okay. So those are my like, if I last little, that's what I would put in there. I mean, like, it really does make a difference. And you don't need to have a day, but
Hmm.
definitely more than 3 hours. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Love that. Love that. All right. I know people probably have to go. Um, oh, it's so, yeah. Thank you all. Thank you for being on camera for a little bit. It's great to see all of your faces and just being here. I so appreciate you showing up for yourself. Yeah. And be in touch. Please be in touch. Know that we have this offer. Looking forward to supporting you all. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Mhm.